The CarTuned castings by MGA are quite possibly the hottest thing in diecast cars right now. These little castings are wonderful. They're painted beautifully, they're made exceptionally well. And I've been trying to find one for a while, and I finally found one, just one, on the pegs locally. I was thrilled because I've wanted to get my hands on some of these and try and customize them. I wasn't sure what they'd be like. It's a heavy little casting. I was surprised at how solid this thing is. It's screwed together, which is nice if you want to customize it. It comes with rubber tires, really nice wheels. Sure, you could swap them. In this case, I'm not going to. And I just wanted to do something to this. And it was kind of nice that I found this 63 Corvette. The glass is held in place by a post. Well, it's held there by a little piece of metal. Let's put it that way. So I had to drill that to get that out. And then a lot of these chrome pieces are plastic, and they have the little tabs sticking through the casting, so you just have to cut those off to get them out. But as you could see from the earlier pictures too, a lot of the features of these cars are exaggerated. It's a fun casting. These are, from the pictures I've seen online, these are all just fun looking little cars. If you're looking for something that's, exceptionally realistic, that everything is to size on the casting, then these probably aren't for you. But, if you grew up on CarTuned magazine, these, the fact that these are also called CarTuned, different spelling as I recall than the magazine way back when, but they're fun. And so that fun, though, it also was a challenge to customize them. I mean, obviously, you're ahead of the game here with these chromed pieces. It saves you work later in having to do the detailing. So from a customizing standpoint, that's nice. But I wanted to put a decal set on it. I wanted to change the color, and I wanted to throw a decal set on here. So I had to find a decal set, find something that would work. And, fortunately, I have a bunch of scrap decals laying around, just things you accumulate over time. But taking it apart, here's what you have. Front bumper, rear bumpers, the glass, and then the base, and then the body itself. The body is the metal portion. Body is also exceptionally clean. So after I threw it in citrus strip and got it out, looking at it, there was really nothing to clean up. There was nothing to file on this. I didn't see any casting lines. It was ready to go. So, after I got it out of the citrus strip and I washed it off and checked it out, then I threw it in the IPA, get any residue off, and I was ready to go. I hit it with the Testors Extreme Lacquer Icy Blue paint. And the Worth lacquer spray, the clear, goes over it after the decals are on. I ended up using Second Chance Redlines decals. It was a set from an extra set from a Redline that I had previously restored. It was about the only thing I could find on hand where the size would work appropriately. See, part of the problem is I need to go between this. I want to throw a stripe down it. And I wanted a double stripe, and yet I had to have it go between the split rear windows. So that was kind of a challenge. I thought about doing this in an entirely Gulf scheme, went away from that, although I do throw some Gulf decals on here. And the added problem is if you put a number on it like this, we have to put the number on the doors as well. And because of the exaggerated features of this, the area on the door is exceptionally small because this thing has some big wheels on it. So I think you can kind of see the challenge I faced. As usual, Second Chance Redlines decals lay down wonderfully. I've always been happy with the results with their decals, and this is no exception. Ew, obviously, I need to straighten that a little. That's always the hard part with stripes. It's making sure you get them lined up properly, and then when you go to do the back half, that they match where you have the front half. That's one thing on this particular casting, that stripe down the back, it had that seam, so I had that to follow. 1963 little license plate for that. That I just printed on paper, as you can pretty plainly see here. I go over the edges with the black Sharpie, and I do cut it off, that little piece, and then do the bottom edge as well. Use the Zoette. Zoette? I think it's Zoette. I'm rolling over to check at the desk. Yeah, Zoette. Zoette liquid chrome pins. To fill in the details on the back, do the tail lights and the exhaust pipes on this. I do fill in the centers of the exhaust pipes with a little black paint off camera later. There I'm zooming in a little bit closer for a better view on this particular section. I use CA glue to hold those chrome pieces in place. And I also, it's one of those things where you really need to think out the process of how you're doing these ahead of time. And in this case, I didn't. So, I put that little bit of CA glue in the little metal cup over there and used the toothpick. After I put the front bumper in, I used the toothpick to put the CA glue on the back. And so I've got this little drop of CA glue over on the right. But it dawned on me that for the little back bumperlets, or whatever you want to call them, I wanted to keep those off until I painted in the rest of the detail on the back. I wanted to use this matte varnish to hold that little paper license plate in place. I wanted to fill in the red on the taillights, and I didn't want the bumper in the way. I mean, just logically, it makes sense. Why have that in your way? For the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to mess it up. It's not going to be better by putting those in place ahead of time. If anything, everything would go perfectly. Worst case, you screw something up in the process. So, it dawned on me, hold off on the little bumperlets until later. I like the stylized font I used for the 1963. For the taillights, I used the Tamiya Clear Red. And basically just, they're recessed taillights, so I just then fill those in with the red Tamiya paint, the clear. And, with the chrome behind them then makes them reflective. That's the whole reason for that, if you haven't done that before. And so, this worked well. There you can see the Gulf decals I put on the back end. I could have left them off, but I was pretty well set on getting some kind of Gulf decals on this casting, since that was originally the direction I was going to go. So I didn't want to deviate from that. There's the Zoette liquid chrome pin. This is the extra fine tip. And again, I get these off Amazon. I mean, I say I get these. I got a set of 3 off Amazon a while back. I also did a short tips video on it. There you see how nice this tip is. In this case, I used it for going around the windows. I dread painting trim around the windows. I'm almost never happy with how it looks. I think it's best to say I avoid it at all costs possible. In this case, I didn't think I could avoid it. And I really took a good hard look. This is pretty much the second assembly of the car, because I put it together without the chrome around the windows at first to see what it looked like. And it looked good, but I knew it could look better. And so I then went ahead and did the chrome around the windows. I didn't do chrome at the base of the front windshield. And the reason for that, when we look back at the original CarTuned casting, the red that they had done, they had painted the chrome strip under the front windshield, but it was exceptionally large to me. And if you look there, it's a very small area that I did, because it seemed way too large originally for me. So I didn't want to follow what they did. It looks good the way they did it, don't get me wrong, but I didn't really care for the thickness of it, for the weight that it seemed to add there. And so I just wanted a thin chrome strip, as it would be on the actual car. At least I believe so. I don't believe that there's a very super thick area there of chrome. And it kind of matched that way the rest of the windows. I didn't go over the side windows. Whoosh! I didn't go over the side windows. And there you see how theirs was a little heavy all the way around. There you see heavy under the front windshield. Nothing on the side windows. And I followed that as well. I did not put anything around the side windows. The glass had the vertical wind wing separation on it already in chrome. So that just came off, or that stayed on because I didn't do anything to that windshield. So I didn't add that chrome. And so you see here, the chrome I have around the windows is much more subtle. And here you see the finished build. See how small the area on the sides is to work with? So it's not like you could put a lot of decals on the sides of this. I love the stylized 1963 on the back. Maybe you guys don't feel the same way, but I'm pretty happy with that. So there you have it. I've wanted to customize one of these. I want to customize more of these if I ever find any. They are just extremely popular. And I can see why. You know, a lot of people are going to love these. And I'm sure they're not for everybody, but I'm really happy with this one. And I'm really happy I did the chrome around the windshield there, as you see. Here's the rest of the glamour shots. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. And let me know if you'd like to see me do more of these cartooned castings. Everybody, thanks for watching. I do have channel memberships now if you're interested. There's more information in the description of this video. Everyone stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.